for it, you go put your thing in there. If you're against it, you put it there. Okay, so are you ready for me? Can I have another one? Because I want to do 3 or 4 because I'm on the way out.
Pro or con? Pro, right here.
What about America's first offshore wind farm? The proposal for America's first offshore wind farm, 130 turbines standing 417 feet high in the waters off Cape Cod and the islands, had become the hottest debate Cape Cod and the area had seen in a long time. From polling for fun at a local restaurant to official hearings staged by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the local population was challenged to develop an educated opinion on the Cape Wind project. But it was far more than a local debate. As the reality of dwindling oil supplies fought with the effects of global warming for headlines, it had become clear that America had to join the global community in moving away from oil dependency and its disastrous effects. And the first and most significant opportunity for America's turn from fossil fuels lay in the Cape Wind proposal. The developer's vision of 420 megawatts provided by clean renewable wind power was the first significant renewable energy power plant proposed for America. The outcome of this debate had far-reaching implications for America's essential move into renewable energy solutions. While there were many positive aspects immediately recognized in the Cape Wind proposal, including supplying 3/4 of the area's energy needs, price stability, elimination of greenhouse gases, reduction in the area's high rate of asthma attacks and fatalities, and energy independence, there were serious questions about real estate values, tourism, wildlife, navigation, fishing, and the view, which needed answering as well. As the investigation led by the Army Corps of Engineers went forward with 17 different agencies on board, a collection of local energy professionals and environmentalists formed Clean Power Now in 2003. To properly and honestly evaluate the view and the vision of an offshore wind farm, Clean Power Now members William and Dorte Griswold orchestrated a tour to Denmark to visit the world's largest offshore wind farm, comparable to the one proposed for Cape Cod. Video producer Liz Argo brought back on video the view from the beaches, as well as candid interviews with the residents.
At first we were a little skeptical because we thought that perhaps it would be a problem with the tourists. But as it has shown, that isn't so. And then after that we've become grandparents, and now we see how wonderful it is that we have clean energy for our children and grandchildren.
When I heard there would be a wind farm there, I think that would be awful, a lot of windmill. Oh, what was the area? People wouldn't like it, and all the questions come in my head. But now I have seen it. Now I have heard our customer here in Down Center, they say they love it, it's a new attraction.
In every case, the Horns Rev wind farm was proudly reported to be a clean, renewable, stable energy resource with no repercussions to tourism, real estate values, fishing, navigation, or wildlife.
We're really glad they're here.
In November 2004, the draft environmental impact statement was released by the Army Corps of Engineers. It was favorable, reinforcing the findings from the Clean Power Now trip to Denmark. Yet despite the determinations, the opposition continued to question the data.
Nantucket Sound should not be turned into an industrial experiment with uncertain economic, safety, and environmental impacts.
We believe that it is speculative and wishful thinking to suggest that somehow Cape Cod would be involved to any great degree in a new industry wrapped around 130 turbines in Nantucket Sound.
Thus, in 2005, Clean Power Now decided to return to Denmark for further evidence of the success of the Danish offshore wind industry. For during the American debate, the Danish offshore wind industry had been steadily growing. In fact, a new wind farm had come online in late 2004. Evidence from the new 72 turbines only 6 miles off from the harbor of Newstead, combined with further evidence from the Horns Rev wind farm with now 2 years of track record for evaluation, should go a long way in relaxing the opposition's fears and uncertainties. In Denmark, wind is providing 20% of that nation's energy supply and accounting for 20,000 jobs in the Danish economy. Denmark's vision of clean, renewable wind energy and the successes or disappointments needed to be brought back to Cape Cod and America once again. This time, a group of 35, which included 3 journalists, a columnist, 2 video producers, and a professional photographer, would visit 2 offshore wind farms and make a visit to Vestas, the manufacturer of the Horns Rev wind turbines. The visit was scheduled to help put to rest the opposition's claims that the Horns Rev wind farm was a failure.
Lars, you're the representative here from Vestas, the manufacturer of the wind farm equipment on Horns Rev. We've heard from the opposition to the Nantucket Sound wind farm that the Horns Rev wind farm is dismantled and is not functioning. Is that true?
It is true that it was dismantled, yes, but it's not true that it's not functioning. It's since December last year been operated very well. All the turbines are back online. Everything is working fine.
So everything is fixed and it's all back in
Everything's
operation.
fixed and back online again, yeah.
Next on the list was a visit to the Danish Ministry of the Environment for their first-hand report on bird behavior and the effects of the wind farm after 2 years of studies at the Horns Rev site.
Yeah, what this figure shows basically is the dominant orientation of the autumn migration as birds come down from the north and east and go predominantly towards the south and west. And you can see this happens both sides of the wind farm here. Thomas is sitting here observing with the radar in the transformer station, and these green rows represent the actual positions of all the turbines. What I hope you can see is that there's a dearth of bird movements within the turbines, within the wind farm area. Now, partly that's due to the fact that there is some radar shadow that comes from the individual turbines, but nevertheless you can very clearly see on this northward edge that a lot of birds are coming down, turning and then going along the edge of the park. And a lot of those that do actually go between the turbines go right down between the rows. About 400 meters out from the turbines are beginning to alter their orientation and move around to avoid actually going into the wind farm. We have very similar experience from Newsted as well, that a large proportion of the birds coming towards the wind farm choose to avoid it altogether.
So most of the birds actually pass around, deflect in their orientation and pass around the whole wind farm.
Excellent.
Some people use the figure as a meter stick or yardstick that offshore wind farm may kill 1 bird per turbine per year. Is that anywhere near accurate?
I think at the moment it's impossible for us to put any facts on the bones of that statement. Obviously there is going to be collisions, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, during heavy fog situations we can obviously not use our telescopes, but by radar we had some very few recordings.
Every so often there's undoubtedly going to be a mortality event. And what for us as advisors to government is an issue is the effects of climate change. That obviously if we don't do something and if we continue to contribute carbon dioxide to the air at the rate we are, there is going to be such changes to the climate that a lot of these birds, their distribution will change substantially. And that's the sort of issue I think we're wrestling with, because it's very hard to quantify those 2 issues.
That feels like the ongoing debate.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt if you look at the trajectory in temperatures, global temperatures, both locally and on a planetary level, something is happening. And there is no doubt that something that is happening parallels the emission of greenhouse gases over the period that it's been occurring. So we as biologists can try and quantify the effect and then say what effect is it going to have on the population. But at the same time, of course, we have to think about what's going to happen if we don't try and check climate change. What's going to happen to the populations then? We have considerable responsibility to think how we manage this planet.
Not much.
Barely though.
In the distance. Little faint. Are they there at all? Where are they?
I'm sure everybody in those houses are huge too.
Well, I'm sure.
I was disappointed, I can't see it.
Not really a distraction.
It's very I mean, really, you have to kind of squint to see them.
You definitely
Yeah.
have to squint.
Yeah.
They're there. They're a little further away, and they're a little shorter than the ones
Right.
in Nantucket Sound.
Right.
I can't see them.
You can't?
Okay, I can
It's
barely see
Barely, yeah. Yeah, compared to the beach and the ocean, they were like swallowed up.
Right.
Even if they were a couple miles in, or a little taller. Wow.
You can take a picture, but it's kind of a waste of time because they won't come out. I think there should be regulations that they have to be close enough so that you can see them.
Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of disappointed tourists.
Exactly.
They're gorgeous through the haze. There they are. This guy's about to fly out to visit the turbine.
So that's the new maintenance routine?
Yeah. Go visit the windmills.
When the bus stops, I recommend that you get out and walk around and look. We'll stop here for about 10 minutes.
Just listening to the cars on the highway over there make equally as much noise as this big turbine behind me. And as I stand and look at it, I tend to forget all of the technical details. And it's really an emotional experience without any technical detail whatsoever. It is so incredibly inspiring, magnificent, such common sense and logic that it's amazing to me. Others who object cannot realize the potential of these wind turbines. Just magnificent.
Wow, right. The best.
Oh my god, I just saw them! The most unobtrusive thing.
How do they stand the noise?
Yes. Yes. So this is going to look like Petro.
I've been saying for 2 years, the guy with the binocular concession is going to do really well.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Birds flying. It'll be a good video. Get a look.
I love it how they disappear in the fog.
How many are in there?
Oh, we need the Alliance to get over here.
That should really be on this.
How do they stand the noise?
Completely. And all those birds. They're birds. Yeah.
Birds are bigger than the wind.
Exactly.
The buoys are more visible than the wind turbines.
This is what people are afraid of. You can't even see them in this haze, and it's only May. June through August on Cape Cod, they'll be virtually invisible.
I mean, if you were down to the waterfront and looked at the windmills last night, when you got here, that's what it was like yesterday. Today it's different. In the morning it's different. This afternoon it's different. So those days where you have the fog or a mist or something, we don't even know that they're there. I mean, they're gone. When we first heard about this, that we were going to have a wind farm, but we didn't have a choice. They just said, we're going to put it there. Where will you like it? Here or here? So that's actually what happened. They told us, we're going to make a wind farm. What do you think about that? Anyway, we were all positive as far as wind energy. but we just didn't want it right outside our window. Yeah, somewhere else. And I think the people here now, they've got used to that. Well, they're there. We can't do anything about it. It's just like if you had a building or something. You may not want it, but when it's there, you get used to it.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, has it affected your tourism business or the property values of your homes? That's the question raised all the time in Cape Cod.
Well, yes, it has, because I mean, you wouldn't have been here.
We're an exception, perhaps, but maybe not an exception.
No. I think since we put up the things to tell the story about the windmills, that people come here to see that and see what's going on here. We can tell the story and say, oh, that's what's going on. So it doesn't scare anyone away. And as far as the values of the property, nothing has gone down. It's all going up. So that's no problem.
Good.
And the sailors, I mean, they can go anywhere they want in the area.
The sailors have no problem with the wind farm. It's an attraction, yes, and they love to sail between the mills and under the wings and so it is an attraction. 4,500 boats here means that we have about 25,000 tourists on the harbor, and then they also came from the land side, and we have a lot of tourists there also. We have had it in 2 years now, and there are nobody against it.
We know that the wind farm we have here at Nysta provides energy for more than 120,000 families. From my point of view, the things that we thought were bad, you'll end up thinking that it was a good thing to have them there and be happy every day you see them running.
This is the view from my store. In the shop we are selling ice creams, burgers, chickens, hot dogs. I think it's a good thing that we're making windmills in Denmark. It's a good way to use the nature. We do want current out of the walls, so we have to have something, and I can't now see a better way to make current. I would like the view without the windmills, but no, it hasn't changed Nysted. So it's okay, and now it's been an industry, then we can be even more proud.
When I started in Nysted Tourist Office in 2003, the first have hated it, and they have hated it because first they have got a lot of theory. When they could see it, they suddenly got another opinion, because then they could see, oh, it was in the water. It was not so bad as they first thought it was. Now we're going to Stuberup, about 4 kilometers from Nysted, a very beautiful harbor. Oh, you can see the wind farm today. Huh? You can see the wind farm today. It should be out there. Can you see it on the camera? No. It's because of what are we calling it in English?
The haze?
Yeah. Normally from here you can see the wind farm. And it would be out there. But you can't see it today. So how bad is it? I don't think it's so bad either.
1 minute you can see them, next minute you can't. 50% of the time during the daytime you can't see them at all.
We don't see it every day because the mills are 11 kilometers from here, so every day we can see it every third day or something like that. We don't see it, but when in the night there's a lot of light on it. That has been earlier a problem, but they have regulated the lights on the windmills in the night, so it is not a problem any longer.
What we discover now is that the tourists are coming from everywhere just to see the windmills.
You come from United States, there was other people that come from Germany, come from Italy, come from everywhere to look about the wind farm. The wind farm have no effect on our business. Most of our tourists is happy to come and see the wind farm. But I know there was other people that has problems with the light in the night from the wind farm, but we have no problem. We think that beautiful with that light is, and there's another thing to do in the night. You can go and you can look about the wind farm. There was some romantic with it also. The wind farms is also good for the economy. Yeah, because it's not necessary to import oil from other countries. We can do it ourselves. It's good for the country, it's good for everything.
It is, Jack. It is. We're worried about you.
Strong, one strong here, another one there.
Galileo was the first to implement it.
And you see how small they are.
Yep,
and if you turn around, you see how big they are. We have a lot of anger. We were afraid of our tourists, we were afraid of our signs, we were afraid of everything. There's so many mills just outside on the sea, so it's difficult for me to change. We were afraid of the noise. We were afraid that the sun will make spots in the wings that we could see in the land. We were afraid of our sailors. We are living of a lot of sailors in Nysted Harbor, but none of these problems have we seen.
So I'm on this trip to learn more about wind power. I work at Cape Cod Community College in the Environmental Technology program, and we got a National Science Foundation grant to develop a renewable energy curriculum. We're going to be offering a certificate program at the college, and we're also partnering with the 2 technical schools, and they're actually installing solar panels, solar thermal, and then they're both going to get small wind installations at their campuses. Everybody knows, coal, gas, and oil are a finite resource. We're going to run out soon, and we need to be diversifying our energy base, as well as renewable energy is clean.
We need these windmills in America because we need energy.
Oh, yeah, this is Dylan Brady. He's 7 years old. He's in 1st grade at Stony Brook Elementary, and he knows quite a bit about renewable energy. Europe is definitely leading the way. Japan is doing great things with solar energy. Europe's doing a lot with wind and solar as well. So they're going to be basically, taking the lead in the world. The United States is still fiddling around and talking about drilling an Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, which is absurd.
I'd like to be a windsmith. I want to get my hands dirty, climb the towers, work on the gearboxes. I want to do a job where I can make a living and, do something that makes a contribution to society, something I can feel good about. If we could achieve 20% power like they have here in good wind years in the past, who knows how many coal plants we could shut down? Who knows how much we could clean our air? So that's what I'd like to see. And I think we can see that.
Well, I wish everybody in the Cape and Islands could have been in our shoes yesterday on the boat. I never will forget it, ever, ever, ever. And I hope to God we see them over in Nantucket Sound.
I've said it before, I'll say it again, I don't want to depend on our friends in Arabia.
I'm inspired. I think
that we could make this happen and need to make it happen as soon as possible in our own backyards.
Sailing up to this wind farm yesterday in the middle of the Baltic Sea was thrilling, and being right underneath of one of the, of one of the turbines just was sort of physically overwhelming. And then we shut off the boat and there was this whirring sound and the ocean and some ducks and a sailboat, and it was really, it was cool.
"35 Americans from Cape Cod, New York State, Vermont, and Nantucket traveled over 4,000 miles to see for themselves what an offshore wind farm looks like and what its impacts really are. They found a benign, simple technology, bettering the lives of a considerate and proud citizenry. The eyes of America are focused on Cape Cod during this debate. It is the debate that will shape the energy future of America. Perhaps we could learn from our neighbors.